Guys, I've been plinking away with my APTA, the air-powered tree access system invented by TreeStuff.com. We've been working to improve the precision of the APTA, what shooters would call tighter groups. Here's what my APTA looks like today. The original TreeStuff barrel covered with a red dot sight, a new aluminum pressure chamber, a new valve, and 12-gram cartridges, all set up to work with cartridges or bike pump as you see fit. The things you'll see here today are, I think, a very substantial improvement to the APTA, to the tighter grouping, and I want to share that. In earlier videos, you saw me take the 1.5-inch ball valve, the stock ball valve, and replace it with a smaller valve. The big ball valve had a release torque of 12.5 pounds. That's tough for an old fart. I replaced it with a 1-inch ball valve that reduced the release torque to 3 pounds, and I was happy with that. But they weren't snoozing up in Indianapolis, and weeks after that video, TreeStuff sent me 2 butterfly valves, a 1.5-inch butterfly valve with a release torque of 1 pound, and the 1-inch butterfly with a release torque of 0.5 pound. Absolutely delightful to shoot with. Nick credits Steve Vineyard with the butterfly idea, and Steve, it's a fabulous idea for the release torque, but it's way more important than that. It also improves the baseline precision of the APTA, and I want to show you that. When I set up same-o comparisons so I could compare the butterfly to the ball valve, I got those very much better release torques, but I also got more range and more precision in the basic APTA. More energy was getting out of the pressure chamber and onto the bag before the bag got past the muzzle. And where was that performance improvement coming from? Well, the answer is it's coming from the basic geometry of the valve. If you look down into a ball valve, you'll see something that reminds you of a lunar eclipse. The aperture presents itself starting at one little bite at one point on the circumference, and it spreads out from there to cover the whole disc. That produces a rate dependency in the trigger that is not good for the precision. If you're using a ball valve now, you know that if you swing that valve too slowly, you'll get a little pisser of a shot. In the extreme case, the throw bag will come out of the muzzle and fall down 5 feet in front of you. So what we try to do is to swing the valve quickly, and we try to make the velocity of that swing the same every time. And of course, we can't do that precisely. More often than not, when you have a shot gone bad, it's this rate problem that's the problem. The butterfly valve doesn't work that way at all. The butterfly valve presents the aperture. You look down there and you see a flat disc, and when you flip that pancake up on its edge, the aperture shows up all the way around the circumference, 360 degrees around the valve, all at the same time. And in this application, for all intents and purposes, the rate issue is non-existent, is zero. So there's no doubt about it, I favor the butterfly valve, but now the issue is which one, the big one or the little one. And if you like if you like the one-piece APTA and you like shouldering the pressure chamber and shooting it as a rifle, the 1.5-inch butterfly is a direct replacement for your 1.5-inch ball valve, and you'll absolutely like what it does to the trigger force and what it does to the shot precision. It's a good configuration, and it's a step forward from what you have. It wouldn't, however, be my choice. I always favor smaller, cheaper, lighter, and the little valve does that. But way more important is the 1-inch valve gives you the 1-inch chamber, and the 1-inch chamber gives you the mortar position. Now, in the past videos, you've heard me talk about the mortar position. The mortar position lets me brace against the ground and hold a steadier sight picture as I squeeze off the shot. And that's certainly true, but it's nowhere near as important as the recoil variable. When I measured that, under identical conditions, if I take a vertical shot, hand holding the APTA versus a vertical shot in the mortar position, I'll get 20 more feet of bag height out of the mortar position, and the shot will be more precise. So to me, the mortar position is the best way. You get your best range and accuracy for high angle long shots, and the mortar position is something that's important to me. Now, what about for low angle shots? What happens if you just want to loft up to a branch for 35, 40 feet up? Well, you just grab the APTA and shoot in the bazooka position. And as it turns out, the bazooka position is the least effective for controlling recoil of the 3 shooting positions. And when you shoot from the bazooka, the muzzle velocity is noticeably reduced. Initially, I didn't like that because I'm kind of freaky about trying to stabilize all the variables. But after a while, it dawned on me that that's exactly what I want. If I'm going for a low branch, I don't cock the big shot back 8 feet. All that accomplishes is I'm pulling the bag back from trees in the next county. That's silly. So I want a kinder, gentler shot, and the bazooka position will give me that with the APTA. I certainly didn't plan that, but sometimes even a blind squirrel finds a chestnut. All right, so the butterfly valve, wonderful. The mortar position, wonderful. Let's take a closer look at the pressure chamber. The pressure chamber is now in aluminum. Very nice. Schedule 40 aluminum brings the whole APTA in at under 5 pounds, including the red dot. I've moved the Schrader valve off to the end fittings. You can see a reduction T and a reduction elbow, the Schrader valve, and the adapter for the fittings. You can do those. You can do these end fittings in black iron or galvy or stainless steel, but don't use red brass. Don't use aluminum. Not a good choice in that location. The other end of the pressure chamber is a 1-inch close-by-close hex nipple, and that's covered by a 1-inch jam nut. The jam nut is not absolutely required, but it's a nice piece of human factors. It allows me to it allows me to swing the red dot sight into any position that's comfortable for the shot, and then I can jam it by hand and take the shot. Of course, the thing that's important about the pressure chamber is the pressure, and this chamber is that magic 31 cubic inches again, and that, with the new valve, that chamber now lets me shoot with 12-gram cartridges almost exclusively. I used to shoot with the 16-gram cartridges, but I find that the 12-gram cartridge gives me 165 psi in the chamber. It gives me 120 to 140 feet in the tree, depending on which throw line I use. And it drops my per shot cost from $1 to 50 cents. So 95% of the time I'm on the 12-gram cartridge now. If you're doing wreck climbing or canopy research or something and you need more, there are some choices, but I don't want to take the time here to talk about that. If there are questions about that, I'll answer them on the buzzboard. Let's talk about the throw bag. With the barrel, TreeStuff recommends the Weaver 12, and I've used it, and it's a high quality bag, but I have to say that my choice is the Stein 14 for 3 reasons. The Stein has a more slender, sort of a tadpole shape to the bag, and I believe that shape to be more stable aerodynamically. I get slightly better groups out of the Stein than out of the Weaver, but not by huge amounts. But I like that narrower tadpole shape. Because it's narrower, you have to step up to the 14-ounce bag to properly fill the barrel. And I consider that an advantage. The extra couple of ounces make it easier to pull back the long throw lines, and I like that. And then the third thing is, take a look at the rings on the Stein bag versus the Weaver. And the ring on the Stein bag is bigger, and specifically too big to pass through a 1-inch pipe fitting. So when I load the Stein bag into the TreeStuff barrel, it will come down and click on the shoulder here. This is a stainless steel forged reducer, 1.5 to 1. And the bag stops at the same position all the time and is ready to fire. A word to the wise, it's entirely possible to make other choices here, other reducers, other valves, other bags, and wind up with a situation where the bag can be pushed too deeply into the APTA, and that's not a good situation. You want to watch out for that. That's like setting off a shotgun shell an inch behind the shotgun barrel. Not a good situation. The other thing I've done with the APTA for the bag, the stock TreeStuff barrel comes plain cut on the end and presents a 90-degree edge to the bag on the inside of the muzzle. I wanted to pull the bag into the APTA, not cram it down with my push stick. So I aggressively honed out that edge. You do that with a pipe reamer, or you take the thing to Home Depot and threaten to buy something, and they can do it for you very quickly, very easily. Expose about 1/4 of an inch of funnel shape. Don't overdo it, because you don't want to sharpen the outside edge of the muzzle. Ream it out, hit it with some fine sandpaper, and now you've got a situation where you're pulling the bag into the chamber instead of pushing it. And you just drop the stein onto the funnel and tap it a couple of times, and the shot will get organized and pull the bag into the muzzle, and you can just move it gently until it clicks onto the bottom. And I don't mash it and smash it, I just leave it hanging there. Now, I believe that the shot inside is getting organized and hanging at the center of the barrel, and the projectile is a more consistent projectile as it leaves the barrel. That may be true, or it may be superstition. I honestly don't know, but loading the APTA this way is actually faster, so it's an easy thing to do, and then it's faster to use. So I'm sticking with it. All right, that's pretty much what I wanted to tell you today. I'm going to try to close this with a little demonstration, a little reality TV. We're going to walk up to a tree and a throw line, and you're going to look at an uncut, unedited tape that will give you a sense of how long it takes to make ready and fire the shot, and then what kind of precision you can expect in the shot. So why don't we go do that? Okay, guys, here's the setup. That's our target tree. That's our branch at about 60 feet. Fairly rough bark, fairly horizontal, so where the throw line lays will pretty much tell you where the bag went. Here's the setup. I've got one camera doing the wide angle, so you can see the whole thing, and one camera zoomed in on the crotch so we can see the detail. There's the throw line and the APTA. There's the APTA, and we'll go to work. My point of aim is going to be about 5 feet above the branch and 6 inches to the right of the stem. Going to load the stein bag, place it in the funnel, tap it in gently with the push stick. All right, we're going to load up here on the 12-ounce cartridge. Confirm valve is closed and practicing safe muscle discipline. Okay, I don't know if you heard that, but we're locked and loaded. Red dot on. Aim. And shoot. Let's see what we got. Okay. Another lucky shot. Guys, what you've just seen is why I'm so excited about these projectile-based systems. My wonderful, iconic Big Shot is now doing a tour of duty as a pole saw, and it's not coming back from that. Thanks for watching.